Crackdown 3. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Wednesday, and that means it's Xbox Nation, and we are gonna have a really fun show today. I called in the big guns. I was like, hey, I need some people. I was like, I gotta get some people, and I got them. And I'm gonna introduce everybody, but first and foremost, I gotta introduce my Italian brother.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
What's up?
What's up, buddy? What's going on? No, listen, I hope I'm not disappointing everybody. Barry Mooch is not going to be here tonight.
Damn it!
I know a lot of people
can't get enough for you.
There was people lined up, crap, outside for this show, literally with tickets. They just wanted to hear, yeah, baby, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be a great show, man. We actually just had a great pre-show, to be honest with you. So things can only go up from here.
Yeah. So
Mooch, take out the power brick.
Hey, take out that brick.
Take out that brick.
And, yeah, we'll get to that person. We'll get to that introduction in a minute. But we got Salty with his new avatar. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Wish I was in Canada celebrating with all the Canadian people today, but holler to all them today. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know?
Yeah. Hey, Noof Nukem had a weed whacker joke earlier on Twitter. Look it up.
No, chill.
I saw that. I was like, huh. Interesting. I was like, huh, that's interesting. Next up, we've got Xbot 4379. Jenny. What's up?
What's going on, people? Guys, another Xbox Nation. It is about to go down. We got an all-star lineup, and I just want to let everybody know I am here for the Destiny 2 Halloween event blowout.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, crap.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing. It's such a topic that I don't even have it. So
it's the radar.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we might. I don't know. We also got the one and only Don. What's up, Don?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm glad I was able to make it today.
Hey, me too, man. I appreciate it. It was super last minute. I had to ask some people because Foxy couldn't make it tonight. We appreciate you. Hey, Mud Trucks won you another round of gameplay.
Amazing.
15 minutes of Mud Trucks.
You know what? People were asking for more, and I think we have to do extended gameplay this weekend. Both me and
that's
Knox.
What I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Mud Trucks. Am I right? Right?
Hey, I'm in the gameplay this week too. Come on, guys.
But you probably got some Destiny stuff, right?
I will not confirm nor deny.
Yeah, he's got Destiny. That disqualifies you automatically.
But what about if my gameplay takes you on an Odyssey though? I'm just saying.
Maybe.
I'm just saying.
Oh.
Maybe. I mean, that could be good, but I don't think it's Mud Trucks good.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna fire those developers. Seriously, man. I got it.
Absolutely. And last but not least, man, we got Lord Hoof Clicker here. Showstopper, man. Thanks for stopping back in and joining us tonight, man.
Well, hey, I'm happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me on here, Crap. And like I said, what's good, YouTube? It is your boy, Showstopper. We ready to do this thing, man. I'm ready for the Xbox extravaganza. Let's have a good time.
Exactly. And hey, Lord Dubro says, hey, Showstopper, you should make a PS4 podcast called Hoof Clickers. Yeah. Come on.
I think I'm gonna make one called Pony Down.
Yeah, don't let next gen here. Don't let next gen here, because you know
that's good.
Yeah.
Because they going down after XO. Trust me. Let's go.
Absolutely. Okay, so hey, good segue there. So Microsoft does announce that they're going to have game reveals and special guests at Xbox XO, which I thought was pretty interesting because I don't know if we were expecting special guests, but the fact that they're saying, hey, we're gonna have special guests there, we're gonna have new game reveals, we're gonna do some other things, and it looks like they're gonna have some studio reveals as well. I thought this was pretty cool because realistically, they're stealing all the thunder that Sony would normally get with their PSX events, which isn't going to happen this year. So I think that really sets Microsoft up in a strong situation going forward. And I think that it gives the fans something to be really excited about. Because as you know, we've had a rough couple of years. Well, I mean, there's been plenty of games, but you know the story. We don't have no games. And even though I'm I'm so pressed for time for games, You know that I
We
really
ain't got nothing to play, but Forza just got launched. I don't
Forza
understand.
Launched, you know, actually, I've been playing Black Ops 4. I'm still on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I finished up on Spider-Man. Did some Tomb Raider. And of course, Red Dead comes out next week. Mooch, let me ask you something, man. What do you think about this XO event and these reveals and all this kind of stuff? Do you think it's okay to start getting hype for this now that they're advertising it like that?
Listen, I think the hype is warranted. We've been waiting, 5 years? So yeah, I think that we should be excited about it. But realistically, I tell all the Xbox brethren out there that you've all been listening to everyone on this panel for years, okay? The one thing I would say is here's what we kind of know. We know that they're going to have some sort. I would believe that we're going to hear something about the Obsidian, acquisition. That's fine. We got that. Yeah. But when you say special guests, I'm thinking like, okay, I take that with a grain of salt because I start thinking of Vince Zampella in the front row of the EA conference. Okay?
You know what? The first thing that came to my mind, Mooch, when they said special guest.
Ooh.
Terry freaking Crew.
Right.
I would love that though.
You know what? Crew gonna be in there, bro. Like Crackdown.
Hey, I think everybody would love that though.
I wouldn't mind if Terry was on.
Crew gonna be there, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's who I thought of. It was Terry Crew.
I'm fine with Terry. I'm just concerned if we get Vince.
I don't think it's going to be Vince and Pella, but what if it's somebody like, like they've had Kojima there before? What if they have somebody from
Kojima? No,
I don't
know about that one.
No, thank you.
It's only good if Cruz stomps in there like the Kool-Aid Man, breaking through the wall. That'd be fun.
Hey,
what's
Crack that 3.
Everybody, my mic sound trash because I'm on my phone instead of my
I don't think it sounds bad. I don't think it
sounds horrible, man.
Sounds like a tin can with like
it's
a
just
string.
loud.
It's
that's
just
because I'm on this stupid phone. Let me turn it down some, Dan.
See,
I adjusted it on my
live
end too.
on the scene right now. That's
it should be good now. Well, better anyway. Hey, make sure you guys all share, like, all subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Share it out on Twitter. All that kind of good stuff. We really appreciate it. But yeah, according to like this official stuff or whatever, it looks like we're going to be getting some interesting stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They've announced the return of XO. If you look at Microsoft's previously announced games, there's going to be some third-party stuff and maybe some new first-party stuff. And they might announce a new studio acquisition or two, according to this. As for what it can be, we'll find out soon enough. It'll be held on November 10th in Mexico City, and they're officially advertising it as special guests and things like that. So again, I think that's something that fans can really look forward to, be excited about.
Crap. Here's the thing here. Like, if you're a gamer, you can really get excited now because what it sounds like they're going to have a wide range of things to show, from third party, first party, studio acquisitions, different people in the industry. It sounds like they are building a quality show. And if you are a gamer, you should be excited right now, man.
Now, let me ask you something, Xbot, because you were previously on the fence about this. You were like, I refuse to get excited. Are you getting a little bit excited now?
The closer we get to it, the more I am getting hyped up. I am trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep the beast on a leash, though. I'm trying to hold it back a little bit just because, we got crazy excited for like Inside Xbox and people went like over the moon with predictions with what that show was going to be, and it turned out to be a good show. It's just it didn't live up to the expectations in the community. So I'm trying to hold back. It's getting harder and harder. The more and more kind of like news, the more and more they start to talk about, what they're going to show there and stuff. It's getting rough, but I'm trying to stay calm, man.
Yeah, I completely understand that. Like, Salty, what is your thoughts? I mean, like, because I know you're like the show me state guy, even though you're in Arizona. Like, what do you think about this? Should we?
Here's the deal: gamers are always going to be disappointed, right? So why not build up your hype? You know what I'm saying? Let the hype grow, because regardless if you're going to be too hyped or too little hyped, I think gamers in general are just kind of picky. So hell, throw it out the window. Let's get hyped for this. Hopefully, I know for a matter of fact that they wouldn't have brought this event back if they didn't plan on announcing, some bangers, some big announcements. It doesn't make any sense for the company. It doesn't make any sense for Phil Spencer. So I fully expect them to go hard in the paint, as they say, because it's gonna happen, folks. Get your hype levels up.
When Salt says, a big banger, I agree with him, but the question is it all three categories or is it only one? And that's what's going to determine whether or not this is the extravaganza we want. Is it going to be, are we going to hear about Xbox Scarlett in a release date? Are we going to hear about the acquired new developing teams? Or are we going to hear about new IPs like Fable, etc., that we have heard rumors for years? I got news for you, Crap, but I've seen a couple of your videos, and I don't know if you're doing it for the video's sake or not, but I personally have given two shits about a new Banjo coming out. I don't care about that.
Come on, man.
Come on, guys. Take that nostalgia, stick it in the box, and put it under the tree for somebody else. I don't care about
officially confirmed Mooch is a redhead because he has no soul right now.
An Italian redhead. Holy shit.
Mooch.
But realistically, I got to say this much. No, really, Crap. I would like to see at least, listen, let's give credit where credit's due, okay? Give it to Meatloaf. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. 2 out of 3 of those. All right? I'll roll with it. But if all we find out is Banjo's coming and they got Obsidian and then Phil leaves and then we got Jeff Rubenstein for 2 hours, I'm going to not be very happy about this show. So give me 2 out of 3 and I think it's a success and the hype is warranted.
Well, hold on. I think you have to remember, even though they might announce, say they bring somebody, a Japanese developer, like Phil's been to Japan, say they bring somebody up from Square and they're like, okay, we're going to get, the Kingdom Hearts collection or whatever. We're going to get or say they're going to say, hey, we're going to get, or say, hey, we're going to get the Yakuza collection. I'm not interested. I know I'm not interested in that personally, but it's great.
That's good. That's good news. Doesn't mean I have to like it. I'm trying to look out for the interest of the Xbox fans out there, right? So if you're looking out for them and saying
that's mighty fine of you, Mooch.
Well, I'm wearing a cape right now for all of you guys. But realistically,
super Mooch,
right? Exactly. Very Mooch last week. This week I'm hovering while I'm broadcasting. But I mean, I think that's important, Crap. I think we can't walk away from that event finding out that they got Obsidian and we're getting Banjo. We need more than that. I think we've been waiting for 5 years. We don't need to know anything like Doorbuster, right? It doesn't have to be like, here's a sneak peek of the first 15 minutes of Fable. No. I get it. I'll take a release date for new hardware. Tell us a CGI.
You want a release date for Scarlett on XO?
Whoa. I've heard hardware could be
Mooch, come on, man.
Mooch is bringing the pain. He's like, hey, I want Scarlett release date.
Phil came out at E3 and said, what? He said it on stage. He goes, what? He goes,
Mooch just wants to be disappointed, all right?
Well, no, I'm giving you guys a plethora.
Mooch is starting that thing I'm trying not to do.
Here's what Mooch wants. He's like, Xbox Scarlett, bring it. I want a release date. Bring it. I want $399.99. Bring it. I want every game. I want the next Gears and Halo and Forza launch.
Crapgamer, by the way.
Hey, let me compare it to some food. I don't know, man.
Yeah, somebody get up there and make a food reference. At least we'll be more entertained than Rubenstein. But I think that, listen, I'm not saying we need to hear the price point or anything like that, but it wouldn't be bad to hear Xbox Scarlett coming to you guys in, fall holiday of 2020. Boom! You know what I mean? It's megaton stuff.
For me, I just want to be hyped.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, what I want to see what they've been working on. And I want those moments, how my man was, how Juicy was on RoboCop when he was like, I'll buy that for $1. Yeah. I want that moment. I want that moment right there where I'm yelling, yes, I'm buying that. I don't care how much it is, $1, whatever. I want that moment. Those are the moments that I'm looking for when it comes to XO. I'm looking for the excitement. I'm looking for just the things that they are working on. Bring us back to where it's not an E3, but it's something just for the fans, and it's showing everything that you've been working on from your gaming studios.
That's all.
And like I said, I'll take a CGI trailer just like Sony do. And
they show things. Right? They show Joel kicking on.
They showed The Last of Us for 3 E3 straight. You know what I'm saying? And the little the little events that they had. You know,
they showed Joel kicking an old plum over to Ellie 3 years ago, and there's still people clapping right now from that show.
If I see Nathan Drake laying in the grass one more time, you know what I'm saying? They showed that 3 years straight. You know what I'm saying? Him just laying in the grass. You know what I'm saying? Ponies was hyped for it, like, yes!
Look at those graphics. They're amazing.
These are best graphics ever. Look at the grass.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It was hyped for that trash. I want that moment right there. I just want to see something beautiful, man. I want to see what you're working on, and I want an understanding of what the game is, and just some CGI trailers, man, and I'll be excited for that. Like the third party stuff, I really don't, I'm really not too excited for it because it goes to both platforms. I'm gonna buy it on the X anyway. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But what I do care about is their first party studios. Show me what you've been working on from Ninja Theory, everybody. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say you just bought them and they not working on anything. They got to be working on something. So whatever it is that they are working on, let them show it and let them show it off. And that's what I'm excited for. I want to see that more than anything. But over Scarlett, over everything, I want to see just the games. And I'll be happy, man. And that'd be enough for your boy show.
Let me pay some bills real quick. Immortal says, here we are now. Entertain us, Nirvana. Just kidding, guys. What's up, Mooch and Crap? I hope you guys talk Red Dead Redemption 2 tonight. We do have some Red Dead 2 to talk a little bit. Go ahead, Mooch, now. Real quick. Predator says he's going to be pissed if it's full of State of Decay 2, Sea of Thieves, and Forza Horizon 4 DLC.
Back in the day,
Alex, what's his name? Ali 1324. He said Master Chief laying in grass.
Well,
I want to see it.
Be there.
I want to see it. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that trash.
A lot of times people say, well, Microsoft's a little bit more bashful nowadays because of what happened with things like, what was it there, that Dragon game that never came through from Platinum Games. Scalebound. And the thing about it is that this is different. This is a different situation. If anybody from Microsoft's listening, you do need to understand. Now you're in control, quote unquote. Let's hopefully see and hope that some of the Microsoft executives are taking command of some of these acquisitions and watching and monitoring their success and their advancement. With that being said, if that's happening, Crap, they should feel very safe and very, very comfortable showing some, at the minimum, some CGIs of games to be. It gives their fans some hope. And listen, Mad Jack's making some jokes, but he's kind of right. He's making jokes saying, show us something to be faithful and give us something to look forward to. But to be honest with you, that's something that a lot of Xbox fans need to see. They need to see that the wheels are in motion.
Mooch, that's exactly what I've been talking about the last couple of years when it comes to E3, and I think Crap agreed with me as well when it comes to like Fable or something like that. This past E3, just throw in a CGI at the end, or just do what Nintendo did and put that title up at the end of your show and say Fable and like coming soon or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You gotta tease your consumer, the gamers, let them know that there is an absolute future, and that future is being like heavily worked on right now. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's amazing? What's amazing is that right now Microsoft have everybody watching them.
Yes.
At that event, everybody's going to be watching them at that event. They have to deliver, and it's more games than anything else. Not games from third party unless you acquire them exclusively to your platform. You know what I'm saying? Like if you did some third party deals where they're exclusively to your platform, hey, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? But if it's like going to both platforms and you throwing that trash, don't do that, man. Just show what's coming to the Xbox, you know what I'm saying, platform, period. And that's all I want to see, man. I just want to be excited.
Hey, Don, what do you think about this? Do you think we're setting ourselves up for some massive disappointments?
Man, I would be disappointed in CGI trailers. To be
come on.
Not at this point, Don. Not at this point.
XO event? I can see E3, but at an XO event?
Don, all we've gotten in 2 years is Forza Horizon 4. At this point, I'll take a CGI and a prayer.
No, we waited too long at this point. They need to show us more than.
But they just got these companies 6 months ago. What are they going to show us?
I'm not talking about those.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
But
that's what I said. If they got some exclusive deals,
they've
then
had
that's great.
In the works for a while prior to these acquisitions. So
okay,
I want to see those things. I want to see games. You have an Xbox One X. People are talking about What can this machine do?
Right.
Show them. If it's a little bit of a tease, make sure it's at least in engine. Don't just show them a CGI trailer and stuff like that, because then you get excited and then you find out what the game is and it's something different.
No, Don, I agree with you, but Don, you got to clarify it better. It's not to say meaning show. You're talking about a different category. You're talking about things that maybe happen way before these acquisitions, something that they've had in the works that I haven't heard about. If Crap's heard about it, he hasn't told me about it. I don't know about those. If you do, that's great. Maybe you can't talk about it. But what I'm saying to you is, if they have what you're talking about, well, that's a horse of a different color. Then I'm with you. What I'm saying is the Ninja Theories of the world, okay, and the compulsion games, okay, those are the folks that, at the very least, I'm not asking those people to come out and give me gameplay right now. I'm trying to be realistic and fair to those developers. I'm saying, show me something. It could be a 2-minute CGI, but it gives me an idea or a glimpse into the world you're about to create, and maybe it gets me excited. Now, what you're saying is Microsoft has done things behind the scenes that we're unaware of. They probably have things in the works, and show what that machine's all about. And to that, I say, you're 100% right. Please do that as well.
Yeah,
I'm not aware of it.
I want stuff that's real, is more tangible than just promises is at this point. I think we've waited so long, and I feel like this has all been a setup to where we're at today. I mean, this time last year, in the year before that, people are asking, well, where's the games leading into the following year? And there people say, wait till E3, and they show what happened at E3, and it's been on the light side of things. And now we're getting this feeling like they've been building up to this moment. They held back for E3 so they can have this moment that they're talking about. So this is one of the first times going into the new year that Microsoft can continue to carry that momentum. We talk about all the bad news that would hit them at like the first of the year, time and time again since the Xbox One has hit. And I think we've been critical about that stuff in the past. And this is one of those rare opportunities they can actually take advantage of that and have the momentum going into it. When we're talking about E3, it's not talking about, well, where's the games or where's this or where's that. It's about, I want to see more of that. And what else do you may have in the works?
Right.
I think that's the opportunity they have there. And Show's right, in the sense that third party is going to be there as well. There's no PSX. So gamers are always want more games.
Let me just piggyback off of that. I don't know where this misconception came from, that just because it's an XO event, you throw all policies and procedures out the window. Microsoft stated that they're not going to be announcing games until they're down the pipeline. So this fact that people think that Fable is going to be showing a CGI trailer, I'm sorry, guys. I'll take a bet right now that they're not showing jack shit when it comes to Fable. They're not showing these games that are like, 4 years off or 3 years off. They're not going to throw that out the window just to suffice some fans at XO, because the same holds true. They got burned with Scalebound. They don't want that shit happening again. Well, they don't want to be like, hey, here's a Fable trailer, a CGI trailer, some shit happens.
So you're saying that 14-month mark is basically what you're thinking?
Yeah, like 14 months to 2 years. Like Fable ain't happening. I've heard it from so many people. Show me a CGI. Like, why though? Like, what does that do for you? Like, I mean, it's not going to do much.
Well, why show us the Death Stranding thing for 5 years? I mean,
that's
PlayStation. I think y'all missing what I'm sitting here saying. Yeah, y'all missing what I'm saying. Sony did that, and people got hyped for it, and they showed the same things for 3 years straight.
Yep.
And nobody said anything. You see what I'm saying? And they still was hyped for it.
We said things about them showing it over and over and over.
We did, but it doesn't.
Right. I mean, we did, but it didn't matter. Their fan base loved it, though.
It comes down to how many games they have, right? They have the plethora, the library of games to be able to do that.
And if we see 5 CGIs from the newly acquired studios, we have that too.
Nah, they're not doing it.
What I'm sitting here saying,
there's a difference between they're not going to do it. With Salty saying, there's a difference between what Salt saying they're not going to do it and whether they should do it. I'm not saying they're going to do it. I'm saying they should do it. If they don't, that's a them problem.
Well, you hear what Salty's saying.
I heard him loud and clear.
I would agree with him, except for the fact that when Phil was talking about that, he was talking about E3. He was talking about
what changes it from E3 to XO?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's an XO event.
What makes the difference? What makes the difference is now they own these companies. When you're talking about Scalebound, it wasn't owned.
No, here's the deal. They don't want to raise expectations so when things don't happen, the fans shit on them. Okay, they don't want to raise your expectations until
it's time to put
coming out.
So it's time to put their big boy pants on and make a video game, dude.
So you don't have trust in the company when they're hiring all these people. They just announced that they acquired some dude from Rockstar.
Right.
You know, you have all these studios that they're making, but the only thing that's going to appease you is some piece of shit CGI trailer. That doesn't make any sense. Well, I mean, if you're with the brand,
what's supposed to appease me? The fact that they picked up some guy who drives a Mercedes Benz every day. What do I give a shit what he does? My point is, like, show me some. I want to show me the money.
They're going to show you Crackdown.
I want to see progress, man. That's basically what I'm saying as a game. We need to see something.
They got to put their big boy pants on and show a video.
Here's the deal. I'm saying, I like to live in reality. Like, we could talk about what I want, what you want, but it's not going to happen.
It's not what I want. It's what they need to do. I don't give a shit if they do it or not.
Yeah. They need to do it based off of what you're saying or what they're crunching numbers, right?
So you're
comparing to PlayStation.
It's 3 years. We've gotten Forza Horizon 4 and canceled games. They got to show something.
If Xbox had games, it doesn't matter if they show them 2 years before, 4 years before.
Right.
It's about the games. If they have games, they sell consoles. If they didn't have a shit launch at 2013 with the Kinect, you know, with a $500 price point,
they haven't showed us
matter.
They haven't showed us games in 3 years.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Let me
early is what's causing them to sell systems.
That's a dumb problem. Fix it and get it right and make the game.
Let me say this. This is an XO event. This is not E3. E3, Phil sit here and said he was not going to come out and show nothing that was not coming out from that 14 or 18 months.
Why do you guys say the XO is just this event that they can show whatever they want?
To show
they don't need to care about anything.
Microsoft. This is what I'm saying. It's an event to show off the Xbox brand. So I'm looking at it in that context. Like, okay, they showing us things to come. That don't necessarily mean they have to come this year. Things to come. So if it's just an event, just like Sony had their event, they didn't show stuff that was coming in 18 months or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? It was years out when they first had their event. So I'm just saying that's an opportunity for them to just show what they've been working on. Now, if they do it or not, that's Microsoft business.
That's their thing.
But at the end of the day, fans are sitting here saying, look, just show me something. I just want to see what you're working on. And I don't see nothing wrong with that at all. I don't see nothing wrong with that, not at all. And I mean, if they do it or not,
here's the deal.
That's on them.
I'm not saying they should or shouldn't. I'm telling you what they're going to do. All right. They're not going to show these trailers. We're building expectations up again, and it's not going to happen.
Dude, what are they going to do? They're going to do a whole series.
They're going to show
Crackdown.
Crackdown.
What's Phil going to Mexico for then?
We haven't seen Crackdown. They're going to announce some studios.
No, we've seen Crackdown.
Crackdown.
Hey, announce the studios is
updated multiplayer.
When they tweet when they tweet Crackdown, Phil goes into hiding for 3 weeks. He's not going to Mexico for that and standing on stage.
Did you hear Phil when he was doing Inside Xbox? He said, "Hey, last time we had XO, we announced the acquisition of Rare." He made that a focal point.
Yes.
He didn't say last time we did XO, we showed some CGI trailers.
Well,
right?
he did say we made some game announces, though.
I mean, you guys, you got to read between the lines, right? It is what it is.
Listen, you're definitely playing the safe card. If this was $1 million bet, I'd probably have my chips behind
safer than me.
But what I'm saying is,
I'm just calling it how it is, man.
What we're talking about right now is I'm talking about what they need to do, in my personal opinion. You're talking about, am I saying that's what they're going to do? I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. I'm saying that's what they need to do.
So, Mooch, you're saying that's what they need to do. I could say that the Cardinals need to sign, Tom Brady, but they're not going to fuck.
Hey, so every year in Detroit, they show us cars at the auto show. 99% of them don't end up on the road. But they show you what they can do.
Well, hold on.
That's what we go by. And if you're not going to show me what you can do and you can't put your big boy pants on and make a video game, then maybe you're in the wrong business.
They are making video games, Mooch.
Then show it.
What are these devs for?
Let me show something. Show us the world you're creating.
Right?
Guys, let me chime in for a second here. Okay, here's what I think. Right, now, announcing studios is a big deal. That is something to get people hyped. It worked at E3. I do think that they do have some announces, because if you look back to Phil Spencer, what he said after an E3 interview this past year, he said we intentionally had some announces that we held back. right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what those are. I'm sure that we will get Crackdown 3 gameplay. I'm sure that we're going to get Battletoads gameplay.
Yes.
We could get this Banjo announcement. We could get they could get that one more thing, and they have a little bit of. I'm not even saying it's CGI. They might have something from Fable. You know what I mean? Like I
know Halo won't be there though.
Yeah, we do know that Halo won't be there. But I'm saying it's not. For me personally, it's not out of the realm of possibility to get a Fable announcement there, right? Because I remember him saying that they held back an announcement. You like Mooch said, if you were a betting man, I would probably put my chips behind you as well.
Yeah.
But something just tells me that they're going to have something there to take that spotlight right before the holidays. And
Phil's not flying to Mexico to talk about Crackdown and maybe one acquisition of a studio.
Definitely not no Banjo the whole time.
And Banjo and Battletoads? you can send over Fredo for that. It's
hey, listen, I'm going to tell you, Banjo better play, and he better start speaking, because I need him to talk now. We out of that reel.
Hey, look, everybody hit that like button. I appreciate it. We all would appreciate it. Also, speaking of this Banjo thing, right? So the reason why we're talking about Banjo, I know some people don't care. I like Banjo-Kazooie, right? So I actually think that it's a cool thing. So a developer from Rare had Banjo 3 listed as his thing on his Twitter, right? And someone spotted it and asked him if it was legit. And Rare's response was just like kind of tongue in cheek. And he's like, man, it took people a little bit longer than I thought it would to spot that, right? So, I mean, and we've heard that, people might be working on it due to like some music stuff. And I'd be surprised if Rare was like 100% into it. Like apparently Rare is assisting with his Battletoads. I don't know. Maybe they're shipping 2 people over there. I don't know exactly how it works, but I do know that me and Mooch interviewed Craig Duncan, and he made it seem like they were not interested themselves personally in doing a Banjo game, didn't he, Mooch? He was like, I could force our team to do Banjo, but their heart wouldn't be in it because they want to do new stuff.
And he said he wants to put his people into a work position, which is why they came up with the whole pirate theme in Sea of Thieves. It was what the crew wanted to put their efforts and their energy into, and that's basically where it was. I mean, myself personally, Crap. I mean, listen, like you said yourself in a video, okay? Spyro's coming out. We just went through Crash Bandicoot. And yes, sales were great. And Microsoft sees these sales.
Yes.
Okay. And they say, wait a minute. We've got a beloved franchise that's been sitting in our treasure chest for a long time. Why don't we let that out and see what happens? So I don't blame them for doing that. It's a financial move that I think is very, very smart and costs them very little money. But at the same time, I mean, myself personally, if you want to say it hits the nostalgia button for you guys don't need to hear me say it. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. But I mean, realistically, it's not anything that gets me excited. I think it would be a 2-minute segment at XO.
Well, let me pay the bills. Eternal Shada says they showed 42 games on E3 2017. I see them showing a couple of games from that list and probably 2 to 3 new games and maybe the new acquisitions. It's possible. It's anybody's guess. But all I know is Phil wouldn't be there if it wasn't something.
Crap. Valkyrie in the chat makes a hell of a point. He goes, Mooch, they showed Halo Infinite, and that's not coming out anytime soon. It was a game engine demo.
They showed the engine, man.
But nonetheless, if they're gonna show that and get look at people, there's Greg Miller's talking about Halo Infinite for crying out loud.
The difference between that and this is Halo's an established franchise that you can bank on coming out.
It's Fable for them.
No, it's not. You could sell that to Lionhead. They got
be careful. Crap's gonna come after you. I agree with you, but Crap.
It is what it is. I mean, Halo, it's coming out. It's a question of when. Now, when it comes to a new game, a new studio taking over that game, that's still a question mark, man. So,
I agree.
That's the difference.
However, when you put it to the pedigree of Playground Games,
still
less of a question.
It's interesting. That game's 2.5 years in development right now.
Don, speak up.
Wow. Yeah, Don.
No, just look at the information. Just look at the information that's out there.
Don drops a bombshell at
Don's like
21
out of nowhere.
No. I mean, look at the information of Playground
Games. The British are coming, says Don. Go ahead, Don.
but no, if you look at the announcement of Playground Games when they were talking about doing this new IP and everything else that was going on, it's been 2.5 years now. They've been kind of ramping up all their staff, building towards something. You guys always hear about the stuff through the ether, about the rumor they're actually working on the project. So, I mean, realistically, it's 2.5 years if you count the time of when it's kind of all this stuff has gone down, or possibly even 3 years. So, I mean, it's not unreasonable for them to be able to show gameplay of that game if they're far along. The question is, how far are they? Right. Are they still in the development stages? Are they rebooting the whole franchise? Who knows what they're really doing? But it wouldn't be out of the question to be able to show gameplay in that situation, because we know they're talented and they can work.
That's why, Don, I toned it back. Yeah. And compared to what you're saying, mine now sounds toned. I said, listen, give these guys the benefit of the doubt, these 5 new studios that are acquired. I said CGI. If you want to go as far as to say, 3 to 5 minutes of gameplay, my hat goes off to them. That's further. But I'm trying to also do what Salty's doing and stay reserved a little, and say that CGI would be enough to at least give the fan base what we would like to call a new hope.
Well, that'd be good enough until E3. That's basically what I'm saying.
Right.
It's not like
E3 is still the big stage.
E3 is still just around the corner. It's not far away. You can show more there. This right here is just an opportunity just to show off what they've been working on, the things that they have planned for us as gamers, and have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect it to be a E3. I don't want it to feel like a E3. I just want it to feel like something that's for the fans.
All Xbox party. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's basically what I want to see. I understand they bring in third party. If I don't really, me personally, I don't care if it's both platforms. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't see what the purpose of that for. I'd rather them just show unless it's an exclusive deal that they have from a third party that they are bringing and saying this is exclusive to Xbox. Other than that, I don't see what the whole purpose of that would be. But I'm just excited, man. I'll see what happens.
Yo, to be honest with you, third-party developers, and this is something I learned from the Don, like early on next podcast. They want their game shown in the best light possible, right?
Okay.
So you look at the Xbox One X, it is the most powerful console. It runs games, better than its counterparts or whatnot. So that would be kind of intriguing for a third-party developer to come in and show off something that could be coming out and showing it, being run on the best console out there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you can also add the fact that when you're showing at an event like this, you're not being overshadowed by the other things at E3. We saw this last E3 where all of a sudden developers are like, let's jump the gun before E3. Let's announce what we're going to do.
Saw a lot
before
then.
Man. Yeah. And because they're trying to get away from that, just be able to stand out as a product. Yeah. So this is an opportunity, along with the Game Awards, to kind of stand out outside of the other things, but it has a lot of eyes on it. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here. But third party, I guarantee, is going to be there in some sort of form or fashion. So
I'm pretty sure it is too.
I think Phil's keenly aware that they got to have that. Oh, and one more thing, right? Like they could have a very basic show, like Salty says, a couple of studio announcements. Show us Battletoads. I think that'd be cool because we that announcement got people excited. We got no gameplay footage. Reintroduce Crackdown because that's coming out. We know it's coming out.
Oh, we need to see multiplayer on that. I mean, they have things to prove on that game. That's what people have their doubts. So you have
show us some more gears. Exactly. I would love to see that. Like I would love to see that stuff, and I think we're gonna see it. Maybe you get a smaller announcement like a Banjo or a Perfect Dark, and then go, okay, it's been a good show. Show some indies.
Check this out. Have Ashen come out the same day as XO and announce it on the stage. Yeah.
You could do something like that. Isn't that going to be in Game Pass or I don't know, but and then you go, and we thank you guys all for coming out here. But one more thing, you got to pull your Columbo, Mooch, right? You got to pull your Columbo out of the bag and go one more thing. Let's take you to Albion. You know what I mean? And then or something along those lines. I personally, I'm an optimist when it comes to Xbox. I have to be. Look, I was getting kicked in from 2013 to now. So, even though it's okay, and I've had my doubts at times and things like that, I am an optimist. I'm going to go in there and say, hey, I believe this is going to happen. If it doesn't, it's not the first time I've been wrong. I'll say, hey, my bad, I was wrong. But I have high hopes
Well, you know what? Listen,
hey, I've been wrong plenty of times, so I learned.
It's a 50-50 thing, Crap. I mean, what Don said shines a little bit of light on the situation. But I'm actually going to take what Don said and I'm going to pull it back a little bit because honestly, I think that realistically, it's something that I'm looking forward to something to see towards the future. I'm not looking for gameplay. E3 is the big stage here, folks. Let's not forget that. Okay. But at the same time, Phil's going down to this show that is out of the country, okay, which is said to be, he made comments like the gameplay. He's made comments like the newly the acquired companies like Rare the last time they did it. He's given these other examples. Then you're hearing celebrities are showing up. Then you're hearing this and that. And maybe it's going to be all for naught. Maybe, listen, Xbox has let us down more than put us on a pedestal this generation. So like I said, if I was a bet man, I would bet on Salty.
Hey,
I wouldn't bet on anything else.
Honestly, I think we're underplaying or downplaying the importance of Banjo-Kazooie and that whole franchise. I know it might not be for you or for me or for anybody on this panel.
Oh, it's for me.
I think that we're just undervaluing the kind of pop that would come from that if they announced that kind of a game coming out again for people to play. There's a lot of Nintendo people out there. I myself was in Nintendo all the way up until I got an Xbox. Nintendo Switch is hot right now. They have a relationship with Nintendo itself. I think that would be a huge announcement if they came out and boom, this is this and this is whatever they're gonna say about it.
Let me ask you this, Salty. Which one is more popular? You think Banjo is more popular or what's his name, Cranker?
I think Banjo-Kazooie has a huge following. Like, if you talk to a lot of Nintendo people, they really want to see Banjo-Kazooie and Super Smash Brothers. Like, that's one of the #1 most requested, characters to be in that game. They miss that character from Nintendo. Nintendo 64 and Banjo-Kazooie, my God, dude. Like, people love it. People love that game.
Salty,
Conker. I'm sorry, I almost messed the dude's name up. Conker.
Yeah.
But listen. I mean, I know a lot of Xbox dudes. They was more pumping Conker than they was Banjo.
Yeah. I think
Conker's got more of an adult theme.
Here's the thing,
and it does.
Banjo has a wider audience, right? And not only that, I think we're on like the 20th anniversary or something, or we're the 10th anniversary of Nuts and Bolts, maybe the 20th anniversary of the first one or something like that. Nostalgia, somebody once told me, is a hell of a drug.
Yes, sir.
And so,
I was going to say, Crap, you can see the hypocrisy when it comes to Banjo, though, because if you look at it, you saw people get all excited when they thought Crash Bandicoot was exclusive to PS4, or when they remade Ratchet and Clank on the PS4. Then everybody was all about cartoon games. That was the shit. Xbox ain't got nothing, all this stuff. And now we're talking about Banjo. And people are like, "Oh man, nobody wants those kind of games." And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about, man?
It's a kiddie game, man. Right? Like, come on, listen. I'll tell you this.
It's good for what it is as a platformer, just like Lucky Tales was good as a platformer.
You're not allowed to say that, showstopper. Everybody
and listen, I actually played Lucky Tales, and as a platformer, is solid. Just as a platformer, I mean. It's a platformer. What you expect? It's just like Astrobot. Astrobot is a platformer. It is what it is. It's just VR this time. You know what I'm saying? So it's still the same thing. You get some coins. You got a little special ability. Platform stuff. You jumping on something. It's simple stuff. But I like it. But it's just I'd have to take it how it is. It's just a platformer. It's nothing that I'm gonna go.
Well, by the way, man, they were pushing that Astrobot pretty bigly. You know what I mean? They're like, "Hey, this is Game of the Year material. It's huge."
Yeah, it's VR, and I look at it, and then when I looked at the VR thing on there, it's really just a controller inside the thing. I'm like, it's still a platformer. You need a controller. You're just playing a platformer. You can look around with the goggles. You know what I'm saying?
It's solid,
it's all right.
Here's the thing: I bought, or I got Ratchet and Clank, the remake on PS4. I loved it. I got Banjo, or what the hell is that damn game? Bandicoot. Yeah, I bought Crash Bandicoot on PS4 and Xbox One. I love it. I thought even growing up that Banjo-Kazooie was the better platformer than I thought Banjo-Kazooie 1 was better than Mario 64. Don't at me.
No,
Whoa.
it's really good.
Don't at me, bro.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, exactly.
Listen, I
The
got
blasphemy. I gotta go Stephen A on you. The blasphemy.
I got Crash, and I have those games too. They're listen. I got news for you. It's all about the nostalgia. The minute you pop it in,
No.
you're right back to 1996, and you're like, thank
what
God
about,
I left.
What about those records they broke with Crash Bandicoot with the cells? You know what I'm saying?
That's outstanding.
Yeah,
Those are really, really good for the accountants and investors. Realistically speaking, I could give two shits.
The popularity across the board. Like, who's to say? What if they make a deal with Nintendo? Say, hey, we're gonna put this on the Switch. Like, who's to say that they're not gonna do that as well? You know,
that's great.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything for me or majority of Xbox users.
That's why you do that at XO. You know, it's not like an E3 thing. You know?
Yeah, that's fine. They can do that. They needed it. That's fine. But that's like that. But to me, that's filler. That's filler. If that's your main stage, we got problems.
Yeah.
Well, it's a part of the whole if you think about it when it comes.
Well, yeah, that's what filler is.
Man.
Yeah. And it's good filler though. You know what I mean? It really is great filler.
Yeah, I think it's really good filler, and I think that it's something that could be.
Hey, how do we get on filler? I mean, let's get off of that.
No, I say filler. Banjo filler.
It's his filler as like. Although that's
get the show back under control, Crap. We talking about
filler.
Hey,
I'm trying.
Show under control. We're talking about filler for God's sake.
I am, man. I am completely trying. I'm working my ass off.
That's awesome.
Hey, let's talk about this PlayStation exploit, right? That was bricking consoles, breaking those PS4s. This was a significant thing. Apparently, there was malicious text messages that could like brick your console if you got it. I mean, there was ways around it, including download the message mobile app and delete the messages before, and then you restart the console before you're up and running. But yeah, do you guys think that this is just like hashtag that's so Sony? I mean, Mooch, I know you've heard about this. Is that hashtag that's so Sony with their software, with their updates? Realistically, is that par for the course? Because when I heard this, like for some reason, I wasn't shocked. I wasn't upset. I was just like, that's so Sony, right? Like that's what you come to like. You come to expect. Like half-assness. I don't know if that's a word.
It has come to hashtag that's so Sony. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, realistically, hate to play both sides of the coin, but both sides have had these issues. Crap, you even said yourself. I think you said, if you didn't, then correct me, that you left the alpha. Whatever it was called there, because it was bricking consoles.
I left the main. Well, it wasn't bricking consoles. I had to constantly reset my thing, but that was me. Because I signed up for that. Like, there's the different tiers.
This is definitely a much more of a Sony problem than that. Absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, they got their shit together, and they did fix it, I think, in record-breaking time for Sony. But I mean, realistically, this is what it comes out. Listen, this is what we've been saying for a long time. And I know there's a lot of Sony fans in the chat, and, realistically, Xbox Live is a better product.
Yeah. Well, that's obvious. I mean, come on.
Well, you got to state it though, because if you don't state it and you just say it's obvious, then it goes by the wayside.
Well, here's the thing. It's not opinion when third parties now have tested both of these things and said Xbox is better, more reliable, faster, this, that, and the other thing, right? So it's not us as fanboys saying it. It's these third-party companies that are saying the most reliable network is Xbox Live. Does that mean there's never any problems? No, because apparently there was some problems yesterday. I didn't personally have any, but both PSN and Xbox Live were down.
And YouTube.
And YouTube, for a little bit. So there could have been some, and that really worries me about this whole streaming and stuff. I don't know, like here's the thing: people freak out. Like Mooch, you and I both know, The Walking Dead, like that. What really happens is the internets go. You know what I mean? Because people freak out, right? Like that's what they do. They're like, oh my god, YouTube's down. I can't get on Xbox Live. Like imagine that. Like isn't that like first world problems, right?
I thought
like,
I finished the internet.
Yeah, like hey, yeah, it's down, and people couldn't get on Xbox Live. But like, it's always such a big deal when Xbox Live has issues, right? Hey, we got over 500 watching. Please hit that like button. Let's get over 200 likes. I would appreciate it. It helps out the channel, and you know what? We got a hell of a panel here, so show some love.
It makes the panel happy. All right, people.
Especially Mooch.
Well, but to your point there, Crap, I mean, it's always a bigger deal on the service that doesn't go down as much. I mean, everyone's making a big deal about YouTube going down. How often does that happen? It doesn't happen very often. Yeah. So everyone would start talking about it, right? So it's the same sort of thing when Xbox goes down. It doesn't happen as often. And, they're the king of the hill. Everyone's looking at them to fall. And so when there's a problem, everyone, calls it out. I mean, it's just kind of what it is.
Here's the deal. You guys remember Bad Luck Brian? I just picture this in my head, right? Bad Luck Brian gets a message from a chick, and then it bricks his console on PS4. Bad Luck Brian. It's just like PlayStation is this situation where it's like their infrastructure is complete shit. And let's just be honest about it, okay? Imagine today, in today's age, I'm not a security expert and I don't pretend to be, but imagine getting a message on your iPhone X, right? You just get the message and it bricks your phone. Like, how stupid does that sound? Like, it's ridiculous, right? In this day and age that you can get a message and you don't even have to open it, I heard, right? You could just get it and you go to your messages and it bricks your entire system. Like, that's a problem, people. Like, it's a problem.
Dude, one thing I gotta say is, how the hell did Sony build up the PlayStation Network? You look at weird caveats, like if you go to change your ID, some games and applications don't work with that ID change. You look at, be careful to open your messages. It could break your system, man.
Hey, Xbox, you say how they built it? It was a lot of duct tape.
It's Swiss cheese, man. It's Swiss cheese, like filled with holes, dude.
Here's the facts, guys. Here's the facts, right? So Sony had free PSN. You could play online for free last gen, right? So that was cool. Then they started giving you the option, which everybody knew that was going to lead into forced multiplayer and paying online. But you would have figured since the last few years of PS3, they had people paying. They would have build a PSN from the ground up. They knew people wanted to change their names. They knew that you know what I'm saying, that their structure was weak. Look what Microsoft did, okay? Do you think Xbox Live on 360 is the same as One? No, those are two completely different infrastructures. Sometimes Xbox 360 will get a service alert. Sometimes Xbox One, usually not together because they're running on different infrastructures. Sony seems to be running their same infrastructure on PS3 as they were, it's the same thing. And they expected something different out of it. It's it's the fans to show that kind of, what do people say to us, guys, right? They're show that same enthusiasm for this or that. You know what I mean? It's hey, you PlayStation fans, show that same enthusiasm you do for the Xbox hate and the Xbox stuff.
You got people bringing up Red Ring of Death right now in the chat.
Crazy stuff.
Go so far back, and if they go that far back, you got to stop kind of midterm there and talk about the hack on the PlayStation Network as well.
Yeah, 2011. They kept the people's files in plain text, right? That's not a smart thing to do. We had some of these issues with like you said. You're going to be able to change your name, but unless you were, unless it's a game that's from April 2018, which is the year we're in forward, it might not work on all games.
That's a mess.
That just shows you what are you paying for? What's your money for? What is it? What's the deal there? Props to them, I guess, they say they fixed it or whatever. I guess. I mean, I don't know. So props to them if they did be able to fix it. I know no company's perfect, but it does seem like they have a lot of these little PSN problems, and people kind of damage control it it's not that big a deal. But if people's consoles are bricking, I mean, those are hundreds of dollars, right?
Well, you got to look at all the features that Xbox Live has gotten over the past, this current generation, and then you got to look at what Sony's gotten, and realistically, they've gotten a lot of just updates as far as what do they call their stability updates, and they've gotten a lot of we fucked that up, let me fix that updates. So. I mean, yeah, they got boost mode or whatever that was called. They got a few things here and there, but even when they're trying to mimic, things like Xbox Live has with name changes, it's a catastrophe. So, I mean, listen, realistically, we've said this since day one when the console wars were in their strongest times, was basically that Sony's infrastructure is weaker. And Don, shout out to Don. Don's on here right now. Don said it a couple weeks ago on Xbox Nation. He said, and I'm not going to quote him. I'm just going to paraphrase. He said,
"Yeah, just quote the Don."
Well, he's right here. He said that they've got a lot of catching up to do as far as the whole cloud server based, et cetera, world, and that should come at almost no shock to anybody, whether it be a Sony fan, an Xbox fan, or a Nintendo fan. That's just what it is, and Nintendo's also behind the 8 ball on that. Microsoft is behind the 8 ball on things we talked about in the first hour of the show, which was their games, and they've acquired studios and they're trying to catch up. Sony's doing the same thing on the other side. They've been lacking on the features and their infrastructure, and they're trying to build up on that. So the thing is, though, one has got the glitz and the glamour, and the other one doesn't sound so fancy on the gaming media site. So you don't see gaming media being like, "Woo, man, those servers are always working, aren't they, Greg?" They sure are. They sure are, Colin.
No, Colin who, dude?
Well, he's got his own show, but nonetheless, you know what I mean? That's not as glitz and glamorous as talking about like all the, like I said, that's Stranding, huh? What's that all about? Yeah. I'm not sure, but let's talk about it for 2 hours, Greg. Good idea. So, I mean, like they have that, and they'll dive into that because it's glitz and glamour. It's like they say, it's sexy. That's something to talk about. But when you're talking about infrastructure and servers, I mean, it's not necessarily as glamorous, and it doesn't hold the attention of an audience. So Sony's been working on that as of recently. Microsoft's working on getting their ducks in order on having games and game studios as of recently. And as you can see, Microsoft has had a little bit more of the attention because they're getting more into the glitz and the glamour and the sparkles of having games and devs. And that's a big deal. And Sony's working behind the scenes right now. They're putting their 4 games on display. They're like, we've shown these games for 3 years. They're not out yet, blah, blah, blah. And we're working on the infrastructure. And you can see Sony's kind of going quiet. So that's okay. They're both doing their respective things. Microsoft did it early. Now they're the glitz and glamour. And before it was Sony doing the glitz and glamour. Now they're going quiet. So, I mean, it is what it is, folks. You can kind of see it. It's all in plain sight. It's in black and white. You're just not reading it, and some of it's not
you
in your
got me
face.
cracking up with the Death Stranding. What's that about? I don't know. Let's talk about it for 2 hours.
Right? That's kind of funny's built on that game.
Hey, yeah, I mean, that show really lost something when Colin left, but hey, we know what it's about. It's about FedEx delivery, dude. It's just like it's gonna be a big product placement, I'm sure.
Hey, Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. It's gonna get a lot of sales. Right?
I'm sure it is. Hey, sure. This is interesting because I know Xbot has an opinion on this. The XIM keyboard and mouse seems to be getting blocked on different games now on Xbox One, which like they're doing it on Fortnite and I guess some other games. So now that these developers have the tools to block this stuff, they are like
Aimbot.
Aimbot 448. I know you were a real big proponent of this. What do you think, man? Is this good because they got the tools to block this stuff, and it seems like they're filtering it out now? What do you think?
Hashtag block them all. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Heck yeah.
Go with the controller on console, man. That's what it's about, yo. It's got me excited. It shows that people do realize that when it comes to console, there's a different environment there. It's a different type of gamer. I know there's some people out there that they want their keyboard and mouse. There are people saying that games that are on the computer that really rely on keyboard and mouse can now come to Xbox. And for those guys, I salute you guys. It's good that it's coming. But for me as a Halo player, going into like competitive arena and stuff like that, I am glad that this is a really good sign that moving forward, they are going to have kind of like stipulations. They're going to have borders in terms of where options on who you want to play against. All right, and I like that, man. I am down for this. Thank you. That's
it. Like Don. You're a developer. I mean, what do you think about this? Did you ever think that them having keyboard and mouse was a big deal?
I was never worried about it, to be honest with you. I think what it does, it opens opportunities for new types of games, and that's crucial. And some games will be able to pull it off and make them work between different interfaces, and some games simply won't. And that's why what excited me is when Phil said it's up to the developers. As soon as he said that, my worries were put aside, and now you're starting to see what I had faith in the first place is certain developers going, it doesn't work for our game, so we're going to block that. And in other developers going to say, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And you're just going to have to be honest with you, gamers are going to have to play the experiences and kind of figure it out for themselves if it works for them or not. And there's a little bit of trial and error there on the gamer side of things, but I think it's not all doom and gloom as like like a lot of people originally thought.
Yeah. I'm one of those guys who used to be doing like, hey, what are you doing? You're letting people with keyboard and mouse play against me with my controller. You know, like that was me. I was that lunatic, you know, and now it's like I realize any sane developer is not going to want to ruin their game by allowing people on a keyboard and mouse to play against a controller in a like I don't see that happening.
If your game's continuous revenue is dependent on microtransactions and things like that, well, you have to have people engaged in the game to want to buy stuff, and so that sort of stuff kind of keeps all that stuff in check and balances, and that's what the way I've always kind of looked at this. So I mean, I understand it's a change, it's different, but it's it's one of those things is when people stop playing the game, that's what really threatens them.
Yeah. And you don't want that, right? Like, if you're a developer, like the whole idea behind these games is being able to play them and having people be able to spend money on your games. And I think that's the most important thing. Anybody else have any thoughts about this?
The sky isn't falling, people. Check the tapes. Check the tapes, man. It's always falling, people. Nah, hey, I remember getting quick scoped and 360 no scoped by some sniper in Overwatch by a Widowmaker. The first time that happened, I got triggered, and I knew immediately the guy was using a third-party mouse and keyboard that wasn't sanctioned. It wasn't, Xbox didn't come out and say, "Hey, we're putting mouse and keyboard there." He was just using it, and it's been going on for a long time. So now I told you guys, this is the bottom line. It's the dollars and cents for these companies. They're not going to let their shit go down the drain. If gamers get pissed off about a certain thing, they're not going to let it happen. It's for the health of the game, like they know what gamers want overall, and they don't want to be quick scoped and 360 no scope by some sniper down. It is what it is, man. It's good that the developers have that option and they can turn it off or block it. It's cool. Block them all.
I agree 100%, man. I'm with you. Mooch, what do you got, man? Are you happy? Woo!
No, I think Salty and I think everyone said it perfectly. I think Don said it that is what it is. It's there to create more opportunity, and if it's not healthy for the game, it won't be there. So it's a never was.
Hey, that's a perfect point right there, man. It's a never was.
Right.
Hey, we're closing in on 200 likes. Please hit that like button. We really do appreciate it. So Call of Duty Black Ops 4. You know what? I gotta say, it's good. It's a good game. I'm enjoying it. Blackout apparently has more viewers on Twitch than Fortnite. I mean, who would have thought?
Called it.
Who
would have called it? Me and Salty.
Hold on. You guys did, man. Props to you guys. I'm bound down. I was wrong, but let me say this much because I did get a few people message me. They're like, "Oh, way to stick to your guns, crap!" And I'm like, "Whoa! I got this game for free." Let me just reiterate that. Hey, hashtag Crapgamer is also trying to mooch Red Dead 2. Hook me up, somebody. I know somebody's gonna hook me up. So anyway, Black Ops 4. There's no campaign. That sucks. I gotta say, I'm having more fun with the standard multiplayer than I thought I would. Right? I'm just into this, playing some of those older maps. Even a few of the newer maps are good. I might even dabble a little bit more with the zombies. I dabble with it a little bit. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
A little bit. There's a little bit more there than previously. So that's very interesting to me. I played Blackout. Here's my problem. I haven't been able to play much because I play quads. And apparently there's been really bad performance issues with quads.
Bad.
Uh-oh.
It's bad.
It's like 15 frames a second. So if you guys didn't know, those old flip books where you flip them and you can
Which
make
mode, Crap?
Blackout when you play quads.
Quads, yeah.
If you play quads, you're gonna have a bad time, okay? Because I'm telling you.
I mean, and there's no excuse here. I'm not gonna damage control it at all. But they nipped the issue with the zombies in the bud today. They're gonna nip that in the bud the day after. Yeah. They've been having problems with this since the beta. They know what to do. And I'm not defending it for $60 full release. It's not acceptable. But Unlike PUBG, where it's a year and a half out and we're still rubber banding like sons of bitches, this won't happen for more than probably another week.
That's not even rubber banding what I experienced, man. You can't you can't do anything.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? Because I want to reiterate, I love the game. I think it's great. The problem is that maybe if this would have released in its normal time in November, they could have ironed out some of these other issues. Yeah. Like, here's another problem that I have. Sometimes I'll get booted. It'll be like connection error or whatever. And then you're like, yeah. So this is like, and then it'll go, I'll go to boot back up and it'll go, you need to get the latest update, the map update or whatever, download it and go back to the main menu. So it's like this long hassle of process. Also, they don't have their store ready yet. Right. So if you pre-ordered the game and you got all this stuff, you can't spend it on anything. Everybody's stuff all looks the same because you can't spend it on anything. So it's like a little bit rushed, but the fun factor.
Like a rush job, man.
Yeah, it is. But I gotta say, and here's the thing: I have not played a game, a Call of Duty game specifically, or any game really, for 6 hours straight. The other night I played 6 hours straight, and I have not done that in a long time. It really takes a lot to kind of keep me interested. I thought that maybe the specialist or whatever would be OP. It's not really the case. Each one of them has a certain strength. I can take advantage of that too. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I would like some of the guns are more powerful, so people that were playing it longer than me have better guns and stuff like that. But with some more time, I'll get up there and be able to play them. I think I'm level 38 or 39 or something. So, I've been busting my ass playing the game. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm sure they'll probably reinstitute the campaign in the next Call of Duty or whatever. But I do want to say, even though I'm enjoying this game a lot and it's got some issues, I have to wonder what 3 studios were doing for 3 years. You had Raven Software, you had Beanox, and you had Treyarch making this game. And they only started on the Blackout mode last year. So originally that wasn't part of it. So basically it's like 14 maps. 4 are remakes from Black Ops 1 and 3 or 4 zombies things. So that to me, while with the Blackout seems like a lot of content, but it just seems like maybe there's something missing there. Like what were they doing?
I got to comment on it real quick. We got more zombie game modes than we ever have. Yeah. You got new game modes in the multiplayer. There's specialists. They recreated those. And I've heard a lot of people say, oh, it's just, it's a remaster of the old maps and that's all we're playing. But that happens in other games, right? Halo does it. All these FPS, they find these maps that are beloved maps and they bring them back for a reason, is because they're fun to play. Yeah. Like, does it matter if I'm playing on Jungle again? No, I mean, Jungle is one of the beloved maps and I love playing on it. I don't care. If I'm having fun, I'm having fun. I'd rather have fun on an old Jungle map than some new shit map. I mean, it is what it is, right?
And hey, I vote for firing range every time, bro.
Exactly. Hey, Salty, let me back up your case here a little bit and say that we just had a segment 2 ago that everybody was sitting there telling me how they couldn't wait to play Banjo.
Yeah, hear me?
So if you can't wait to jump around,
oh snap, man! It took me forever, boy. This is crazy.
Hey, welcome back,
hey, show. Welcome back,
showstopper.
But realistically, crap, Salty's right. I'm sitting there and I saw your tweet. Me and you were talking back and forth, and I'm playing a bunch of multiplayer, and I'm like, man, I am playing a lot of the rehashed maps, but I'm like, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I'm loving these fucking maps. They look great. They feel, listen, you know why they feel like different environments? Now they're vibrant. They're full. The 360 versions were empty and bland.
Yeah. Well, there's low resolution on 360,
and comes, with great power comes great responsibility. But I mean, realistic, right? We all know that from swinging around all September.
Swing to the left, swing to the right. Hey, you finally finished that damn game.
I did. God bless me.
And one of the group chats I had seen in Bang Bang, they had a picture of Spider-Man, right? And you just see his hand hanging from around a corner. And it's a can of Raid right there. And it says, y'all finished with this one and done.
Hey, hold on. I got to pay some bills. Yobi Dren says, peace, love, life. Huge announcement. M&C in the Morning will be returning very, very soon. Yes. Revamped and coming with a vengeance. Most anticipated podcast ever. Mooch Crap approves of this message. Hey, that's true. We actually got some new. We do got some new graphics and stuff. that are getting made right now.
Yep.
And we just had an interview with a potential new producer.
Yes.
And things are coming along soon. We're going to be MNC is getting rebooted, but it's going to be awesome. Yeah, it's going to be
revamped.
It's going to be revamped. Excuse me.
Revamped.
Yes, we're going to hire a younger Mooch and a younger Crap. No, I'm just kidding. Because
we will be in the background. No.
Yes, I hear. What's his name? The guy who plays Batman and Superman. I hear they need new jobs, and they tried out for. They want to play Mooch and Crap now, but yeah, Mooch. Like when I just love this game, and so many people are just like, and I spent way more time on this game already than I would have thought.
This game is the downfall of Call of Duty. You're gonna look back at this game. This is the thing. Everything that's on the top eventually comes down, and then you got to look at it in hindsight and be like, "Oh, that's where it happened." And I feel like this is going to be the game where that happens. You're going to see 3 or 4 years down the line, you're going to be pointing back to this. It's like, oh, this is when that pebble started like rolling down the mountain. It's exactly.
I want to counter that argument real quick.
So I think it happened.
Here's the deal. In the gaming industry, if you don't evolve, you get left behind. The previous Call of Duty games were struggling. I don't know if you guys saw that, right?
Halo fans about that evolve thing, okay?
No, so Call of Duty was lagging in their cells. What was it? Advanced Warfare, where they went to space and shit and got
that was
tons
Infinite
of
Warfare.
Yeah. See, the deal was Call of Duty had this hit a wall, right? So it had to adapt and evolve, and it saw what was hot in the industry, and it did that, and it improved upon it. And now, what are we seeing? We're seeing it break records,
Warfare,
right?
They tried to evolve as well. They were running on buildings and stuff like that. It didn't work.
But we're seeing results in what they're doing now. Like everybody was saying that they're going to boycott because there's no campaign. But the proof's in the pudding. We're breaking records with cells.
It's in the pudding.
Do you think more developers should kind of do away with the campaign and just add a bunch of multiplayer modes?
If it's based on multiplayer like Call of Duty, hell yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I ain't played Call of Duty since Ghost, and I hopped on this one, and I'm trash right now. I got to get back to the speed of the game and everything. I mean, your boy show hot garbage right now. I don't want to be on nobody's team. None of that trash right now, because I sat there, I hopped on there. I was like, yeah, I'm doing my old stuff. I say, yeah, this don't work.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So I got to get back up to speed, man. This was
but it does come.
Trash.
It comes back to what Salt said at the end there. And that's what I said. That was my argument early on. Was that basically you have to understand that if it calls as a multiplayer game. To me personally, listen, when Tomb Raider, the first Tomb Raider that was revamped, okay? Not Rise of Tomb Raider. What was the one before it called?
Just Tomb Raider.
No, whatever. So when Tomb Raider
just Tomb Raider.
2012, right, when it came out, everybody was like, oh, this multiplayer is totally tacked on.
Yeah,
totally
it was.
First one. It was the first remake done by Crystal Dynamics. Was done in 2012.
2013, bro.
Oh, 2013. I thought you said 2015. My fault. 2013.
No, 2013.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And they said, oh my God, the multiplayer is tacked on. Let's stop just tacking on multiplayer for sake of saying you're throwing on multiplayer. This is horseshit. We don't deserve this. Okay, whatever. Now, fast forward, or if you want, rewind, if you're a huge Call of Duty fan, to where we are with the Call of Duty series. And the single player, to me personally, and I know a lot of you hardcore guys are going, that's horseshit, Mooch. That's horse shit. But realistically, like we said, numbers don't lie, and the people are buying this game without the single player. This is a predominantly multiplayer game. So if you're taking out the single player, but you're giving me more zombies up front, a whole new mode in Blackout, which, yes, it's got a couple kinks, but they'll get it out in another week. They fix the zombies, they'll fix this. They've got that. They've got more modes in multiplayer. There's going to be more maps coming. Like, realistically, Crap just said to me last week before this game come out. I go, Crap, what the hell are you doing? He goes,
Are the maps free or?
No, you had that. Yeah.
What the hell is free in 2018, Xbox?
Hold on.
Hey,
Do you want to know what free
Hey, Mooch going in, bro. Hold on.
Fortnite is free. That's why when it comes down to this,
free.
hold on. When it comes down to this,
I got my kids hanging off my arms.
When it comes down to this, check this out. Well, they got the free-to-play tag over it, and you know when it comes to that neon
napkins
light,
are free at
that
McDonald's.
neon light.
Nobody's going after napkins.
When it comes down to longevity, though,
What?
I know people are saying, "Wow, people are streaming Black Ops over Fortnite right now and stuff like that." That's only a temporary thing, because at the end of the day, I feel like Fortnite
that you're changing
the updates with their updates.
You're changing the subject.
I'm just saying.
Listen, you're telling the Mooch that free.
Get this podcast under control. We're talking about free.
No. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. EA and Battlefield are having free map packs, right? How is that going to work out for them when it bottoms up? You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, you do see more and more offering free multiplayer because it keeps people together. Now, here's the problem I face, because I do, all of a sudden, my gaming clan is back, and we're playing Call of Duty all the time again. But those guys are cheap. And if I spend $50 on that map pack, they won't. And it would be a waste because, or I have to play it by myself. So that is a bit of a problem. That was
by
the problem.
By the time the map packs come out, Crapper, into February, and there's 8 games coming out this February.
You ain't gonna play that trash.
But here's the thing, though. Like, Call of Duty is something you can play all. Like, I've been playing Call of Duty World War II, almost every day. So I mean, and that came out a year ago.
Here's what I want to see next generation.
Hey,
I'm gonna say this: map packs should already be ready day one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this wait for map packs and all this little stuff, man.
That's a good point.
Put it out day one. Put it out day one with the rest of the game.
Exactly. Make a $100 version, have all the map packs included, done.
Everything is there. It is done. Boom.
I'm with you. You get more people to buy it.
Me, Snaps, and the family, we're going to move next door to you just for like 3 to 4 years from now. I can come over, knock on your door, and be like, hey, you remember Blackout over there? Yeah, look what happened to Call of Duty. That's where it started.
Hey, Mooch gonna sit here and say this. Get the hell off my lawn, bike.
I'm gonna be like that guy on Friday. Could you get off my lawn? No, I mean, listen, Xbox, you got to go back to the fundamentals. The fundamentals here is this is a multiplayer game.
It is, but I do want to say that it maybe worked with Black Ops because the last Black Ops campaign was off the rails and everybody hated it.
Right.
But if this game sells 30 million, or if Call of Duty sells 30 million and 20% play the campaign, that's still millions.
Hold on. Let's talk numbers here for a minute. Let's go back to my Tomb Raider reference. The first Tomb Raider remake in 2013, had a multiplayer. That is a predominantly single player game. The next 2 Tomb Raiders didn't have a multiplayer. Where's the people complaining?
Well, what happened was it was completely tacked on by another studio. You know what I mean? Like, it was made by
Mooch and Crap. It was in my $60 purchase.
I get that, but you're talking about,
you don't get it.
Here's the thing. If you go back and look at the original Black Ops single player, with Mason, it was very intriguing, very good. The second one was still pretty good. The third one, awful. But with the Modern Warfare one as well, like with Ghost and all those guys, like Captain Price, like people get attached to these characters.
I can't sit here and tell you what you enjoyed or not enjoyed. All I can tell you is when I turn down those single players, they're like, Mooch, follow Captain Stunuts. He's going left. Get down into the tall grass.
I understand that, but look, what I'm saying is that might be for you, but I always jump in those and like to do those before I jump into.
I'm going to say this one more time. You're going to go, nah, like you always do. That's because they threw all the achievements at single player and they gave none to multiplayer. And that's why you guys missed them.
I doubt. Here's the thing. I doubt I get very many on the multiplayer on this. If you look at them, they're all zombie related. So it's like that's probably the mode that I'll play the least because I'm not really into that. So
welcome to my World Cup. I've been playing Call of Duty since my greatest memories with my friends is waiting in line, getting that disc, going home, seeing everybody on the 360 and playing. And I've played hours. When I say hundreds of hours of old Call of Duties, and I've got 0 gamer score to show for it, and I don't care.
I don't really care about that. I've got as little as like 200 on some of them. Right, because depending on which one it is, like the original Black Ops, I think I have 230.
Most of them were.
It depends. It's like it's a good challenge. I like them. I think they're good fun. I think that it's like action, just like with Halo, man. The first thing I do is jump and play the campaign.
That's different.
Gears,
Halo's
I
based
jump and play
upon
the campaign.
that's
tell him, Crap. Tell him, man.
That's a horse of a different color.
Now Mooch,
that's different.
Mooch,
that game is known for its
Mooch.
story. People want to know what's going to happen to Master Chief, etc., and Cortana, etc.
Well,
now, Mooch, I'm gonna tell you to calm down, Mooch. You got that vein in your neck again.
You want to know what? That's what Italians always have a vein in their neck and on their forehead. Listen, nobody wants to know what happened to Captain Stu Nuts this version. Nobody gives a shit.
I do, man. Hey, if it turns out that we're getting Modern Warfare 4 next year, I hope that it has, it would have to have a campaign. Because look, yeah, I hope so, man. Because there's a value for that. You know what I mean? Like it gives long-term value, to those games.
It gives the achievement hunters their achievements back.
Well, no, it gives you a little bit more of a value. You know what I mean? And that's what I like. Because look at Titanfall 1, great game. Would have been a little bit better if it would have had a campaign.
Titanfall 1 over Titanfall 2 all day.
The multiplayer, but that campaign was
the game itself.
Yeah, but if you talk about what people liked about Titanfall 2 was the campaign. They were like, "Holy crap, that's great!"
Some people,
they talked about the campaign.
I thought it was the robot version of Lassie. Okay, I didn't give a shit. It was like a guy and his dog. What's going on? Where's my robot? Who gives a shit? Let's get to the multiplayer.
Sir, you like the campaign in Titanfall 2. Don't even play. We could go back on your channel, man. Let's go.
It's documented.
Yeah.
But
the thing was, people pointed out that campaign in Titanfall 2. Why? Because the multiplayer was trash. Why? Because they replicated.
And that's why the Call of died.
Kind of like sauce there, man.
And that goes back to what Salty was saying and what I said earlier. That game, Titanfall 2, is a multiplayer focused game. They put all their focus on the single player, and what happened? It died in a week. It died.
Yeah. Well, here there's multiple reasons for that, right? Like I can go over a few of them. So, Titanfall 2, they changed the core aspect of the gameplay with the Titans.
They catered to a different fan base.
They did. They tried to make it more fast. They ended up it slowed down was what happened. Because it was fast paced and they slowed it down, and then they're like, okay, we'll take out the cores or whatever. Now it was stupid, and they had like too many lanes now, like 3 lanes for the robots. So it wasn't like you could avoid the other robots, and it was just like, it was lame. And they also had it to where you could camp, where the first Titanfall you could not camp in that game, right? In the beta, even I got spawn trapped multiple times with people with snipers, and I'm like, this is not fun. Also, the lobby system was broken. I still to this day do not know how to do a lobby. It's like, you got to have a clan tag, and then you see it come up and you accept it real quick, or you can't get in. Like that is the
crap. Remind me to call you to the stand next time I want to prove a point. You're proving my point. They put all their talent into the goddamn single player. They couldn't even get the guy to come over and do menus in the multiplayer.
To be fair, the reason why they did that was they were trying to appeal to PS4 gamers and Call of Duty gamers, right? When they should have just appealed to Titanfall fans, because there was already a fan base for that.
The unfortunate thing is they were copying Call of Duty when Call of Duty was trash, and it was like in a bad time. Like it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like you got to follow the trends when they're happening. I mean, unfortunately, they were looking at COD when COD was kind of on the downturn.
Hold on, when was COD on the downturn? Because like I hear the new COD has like all these older maps, kind of. Brought up
the deal. Here's the deal. Coming from a guy that actually has played the game for a good amount of hours, like I can tell all these people that talk about Black Ops 4, but they haven't played it. They haven't partaken in it.
Yeah, all you people out there, I played.
All right, so the deal is there is differences about this game, right? Like Black Ops 4, there's tons of them. The specialists. They add way different, playability when it comes to the way the game's played, right?
You're giving me vagueness here, man. Like I don't like.
So I don't think it's vague. I think what he's trying to tell you is they emphasized on the multiplayer.
What's a way big difference in how the game's played?
Well, they revamped the specialists.
They didn't have specialists before. Now they have them.
Well,
he already said specialists. So you're saying that again.
So what are you looking for, sir?
I'm listening to you, and I'm trying to hear
Blackout, zombies.
Oh, hold on, let me pay some bills real quick. Immortal says, I play multiplayer, hardcore, competitive, but I'm with crap. I'll take a campaign first, any game. There you go. There you go, Mooch.
It's Immortal, get your act together, Immortal.
It's weird to me. We're arguing on what justifies a purchase for other people is what we're doing here. I mean, I can admit Call of Duty, and then I've told Bot this that it's good. And I'm somebody that doesn't really like the battle royale mode, and I don't really overly like Call of Duty in any sort of way. But I can admit it's a good game and it's a good mode, and it may need a little bit of ironing out, but they're onto something. But the same token, it's not enough for me to push me over the edge to buy the game. In regards to that,
yeah, but Don, if I could just, would you buy it if you could follow Captain Stu Nuts for 6 hours?
Yeah, well, that's the best NPC out there. It's the follow me character, right?
Right.
So, I do like the campaigns. I really do, and I don't pick Call of Duty up all the time. I pick it up every couple of years or so. So, I mean, that's just me how I justify my purchases. Like, hey, there's a low in the holiday season. I'll pick up a Call of Duty. I know what I'm going to get in the campaign, and it's kind of like that flavor. You know what to expect, but I've never played the multiplayer really all that much on Call of Duty, and so therefore I can't justify the purchase because it doesn't appeal to me.
And that's fine, Don. But I mean, realistically, so have you bought every Call of Duty prior?
No, as I said before, it's every other one or so.
That's fine. That's fine. That's my point. So to use your point to credit is, we're sitting here arguing about how different people's tastes and different gamers feel, right? So but you're also contributing to that, saying, hey, I'm not really a Call of Duty fan. I just picked it up haphazardly here and there, which is fine. By the way, it's not a critique. You have every right to buy it when you want. But what I'm saying to you is ultimately, and you're a developer. Ultimately, if you've been on the Call of Duty train, if you've been a developer for that company, working for Activision for the past decade, and somebody says to you, Don, I really need you to either focus we only have money for one or the other, multiplayer or talents and efforts. We ran out of time, whatever the case may be, on multiplayer or single player. You're going to say, well, gee, boss, to be honest with you, I think we need to put our efforts and our talent into multiplayer. That's where our money is. And he's going to go, I'm glad you're on board with us. Have a seat. Like, that's where it is. That's what this game calls for. And that's when I go back to my Tomb Raider reference. Tomb Raider, the first one in 2013 that was rebooted, had a multiplayer that everybody bashed. Once they saw that that's not why people went to Tomb Raider, they focused on the single player and Rise.
Hold on, let me just say real quick though, that's one game that had the multiplayer that was very generic, whereas Call of Duty has had a single player.
Call of Duty single player can't get more generic. It's an on-rails game. It's an on-rails game. It's on rails, and I could write the script for that next year if you want me to. It is on rails, and it's very.
This is what I gotta say. If for Call of Duty anyway, the multiplayer has been on a steady downward slope. Right. So Ghost had terrible multiplayer, but it had a great campaign. So much so, I bought it on 360, and then they did the trade-in.
You got to take yourself out of the equation.
I understand that, but I'm just saying I'm not the only one. But if it wasn't for campaign for these games, I wouldn't have played them. Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, but you're wrong. The numbers are showing what you're saying holds no water. But it's not now. There's no campaign, and it's selling like hotcakes.
No, wait. Hold on. It's not saying that because if they say 20% or 25% do the campaign, that's millions of people. Right. So we don't know. We do know that it has. I'm not trying to say it's doing bad because I think it's doing great. But I'm just saying they did specifically only mention they only mentioned the digital.
They mentioned digital's where we're at, first of all. Second of all, Twitch. Twitch is a major number, and it's a numerical metric that people look at nowadays. And it's crushed. Now, right now, listen, I agree with Xbox.
It's new.
It doesn't matter. What if it was new and not number one?
It's new with Call of Duty on it.
What if it was new and not number one? Wouldn't you make a bigger point? My point is this is what it's supposed to do. It's doing, like when you're a team in the MLB or NFL, you're supposed to be the team that's worse than you. When the worst team beats you, you're effed. What I'm saying to you here is this company went in there and they're supposed to do this.
No, Mooch.
Yes, it is true.
Hey, Crap.
Wow.
Hey, Crap.
He called himself. You see the catch, though? The catch was serious. It's effed.
You guys can say whatever you want. I know what I'm saying is a fact.
Man. He was about to go there, bro.
Number one. They're number one.
About to go,
so let me ask you if it's such a thing, I mean, you think they'll cancel all the campaigns going forward?
I think it's a big possibility because here's the deal: like, if you're Activision, right, you're sitting there, and then they crunch the numbers, right? Analytics is a big thing in the industry. Yes. It's a big thing in sports. They hire, specialists to crunch the numbers. If you have these investors and people are coming to you and being like, "Hey, man, we spent millions and millions of dollars hiring mocaps and actors and stuff doing for this campaign, and only 20% of the people finished it." Oh, okay. So we wasted our money, basically. Yeah, well, I don't know. Let's see what happens when we do a Call of Duty minus the campaign. Then it's selling gangbusters. Like, what are you going to be? Like, Activision's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess we're not going to put a campaign in there, right?
Well, first, I do have to say this, right? I have to say that the World War II campaign, masterfully done, another brilliant campaign.
It was good. It was the better of the past decade.
That was the first Call of Duty in the past, like 3 or so, that really stuck out for me because it had good multiplayer, good single player, right? It's a dangerous trend, fellas, to do that because I know for a fact
it is, though. Honestly.
Well, here's the thing, Salty, and I know it's like I know, Salty, you'll go, oh, well, whatever, it's rumor or whatever. But I know, and maybe we can talk about it a little bit off the air, for a fact that Microsoft had considered doing campaignless Gears and campaignless Halo due to the rise. I mean, they're not doing that now, but I had heard that it was on the table. You can ask a couple. Like, we can talk a little bit.
Games are a case-by-case situation. I understand that they looked at those metrics. I understand that. I'm not discrediting what you.
Well, I mean, he's right. Like, it's the most expensive part is making the campaigns. If they can just slap together some multiplayer.
Let me say this much. For me personally, Halo's campaign and story that they've built up from 2001 to current, okay, holds a lot of weight with me, and I'm sure with a lot of Halo fans. That would not resound or do well, because you have a main protagonist that people find and have followed behind for all these years. Captain Stu Nuts is not the same as Master Chief. So really, it's not the same thing. It's not apples for apples. It really does go down to the same effect of what I'm saying. Call of Duty and their situation with single player versus multiplayer is the same situation you have to look at with Tomb Raider with single player and multiplayer. The reason they got rid of multiplayer is it was useless for that game. And in this case, you're finding by sales and Twitch figures and metrics that are coming out daily that people care and buy Call of Duty for multiplayer.
And
I think here's the thing. Let me
on that one though. Be honest with you.
Yeah. Let me say this also. Black Ops is a big name. If you talk about Sledgehammers or Infinity Wars not having campaigns, you might not see this level of success. I'm just saying, right? Stephen Roush says it's new, but not all Call of Duties do good in sales. Exactly. Like, I'm interested to hear what this have. I would love there to have been some kind of campaign for this. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, but I understand, kind of what's going on. I'm interested to see what happens. Optimistically,
I think you guys are not looking at everything and there's a lot of in Xbox. This goes to your credit. You're the first one to be like, well, my kids are doing this and the kids are talking about that. I don't like to use my kids as a reference, but
talking about right now.
Yeah, but all my kids' friends are talking about how Ninja is now streaming Blackout, and they're all talking about getting Blackout for Christmas. And that's the biggest buzz. And they're all Fortnite lunatics. They love Fortnite. Yeah. They love it. And they're all talking about how these guys, they're like, oh, Dad, what's going on with Blackout? Blackout's really, and that's what they're talking about. And Jeff Arroyo in the chat goes, you're wrong, Mooch. Hey, Jeff, have some kids. All right, listen, what I want to say, okay? Let me tell you something right now. I'm telling you, there's a shift here. There's a change, and they see what's going on.
But,
and
Mooch,
if you don't think this...
What happens if the shift it goes away from a battle royale? Because eventually that could be a possibility too.
Absolutely.
And then what are you going to?
COD will jump on whatever bandwagon.
Exactly.
But hold on, like,
wow. Exactly. Make COD sound like it's a cheap hooker, man.
Hold on. Let me just say this though. For me, Call of Duty, when I first got into it, was the thing that other things tried to emulate. Right now, Call of Duty is like out there kind of, and it's fine because I think what they do right now with Black Ops works. But I'm not sure that, like I said, that works with some of the other ones that they do.
Here's the deal. I personally, have bought I bought the Call of Duties, but I didn't play them. Like I was big. I'm a first person shooter guy. Yeah. This is what I do. This is what I like. I play with my friends. I played all the, Black Ops original. I was big into it. I was playing. It was like my most played game. You look at it, and then I just started to wean off. You know what I'm saying? And then some of these COD games, I didn't even like. The World War II game was trash to me, dude. I could not play it. I stopped playing it after, I don't know, 10 hours maybe. This game is polished and refined. You can feel it. Even, Crap's saying this. Man, I haven't played this much COD in like years or whatever.
Right.
I'm playing with my old squad. We're playing it again. We love it. It's like, well, there's a reason. I mean, maybe if they focus more on the multiplayer, maybe it will actually be good.
Yes.
Like, what about that? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, if it's good, it's good. I mean, I'd rather have one area be really good than just be average across the board. That's the saying, you know what I'm saying? Like in basketball, you need to be really good at one thing, not average across the board, because average, you get cut. All right.
Here's the thing, though. Now, check this out. Like, I hear what you're saying, Salty, and you got to be very careful, kind of like the line you cross with accepting certain things, because there are other developers out there. You saw how Battle Royale blew up, and all of a sudden, other devs are like, "Okay, we got to get that implemented in our games." Even to the point where Call of Duty, their campaign wasn't working, they cut it off, and they put that Battle Royale in there. If you're saying you're accepting this, then down the line, other developers are going to try. I don't try to do the same thing.
It's not that.
But they will.
No, Xbox. Let me tell you why. Again, go back to Titanfall 2. They saw what they thought was trending. They thought that they could do that with their game, and it absolutely almost bankrupted them. EA bought them for about a lollipop and a couple of bottle caps. Okay, that's how much it hurt them when they made that choice. It's only certain companies with certain money in the right mode, and this game is a multiplayer-focused game, and they made the right move.
With Respawn, they did something with Titanfall 1, and then they tried to go back to what was the standard to games, and I guess that didn't work, unfortunately,
because it didn't. It's not what they
watered down their multiplayer as well. They did a couple things. You can't just point to one thing and be like, well, that's the reason why that happened. It was a snowball effect that happened over there with those devs and that title.
There's certain games that this won't work with, like Halo for a fact. You can't cut, like if they want to come out and say, hey, we're coming out with a Halo separate multiplayer, okay, that's fine. If you're trying to branch off with some kind of other aspect or part of Halo, that's fine. But if you're saying, hey, we're taking Master Chief out of the we're not doing campaigns anymore, that would not fly.
Another Spartan in there, and
that would not fly with the fan base.
No, like, that wouldn't fly with me.
It would not fly. No. It just wouldn't happen. So they can't do it. And there's certain companies and developers, they can't do this. They can't say, hey, we're gonna copy the industry.
Well,
we're gonna vomit out a battle royale, and it's gonna be at the top of
let me ask you guys
and Mixer.
So only certain devs could actually evolve their titles and others can't.
I mean, if they have the skills and they have the game that will suit the trends, then they can do it.
It's a game by game basis, Xbot. It's not just what your feelings are.
I mean, here I'm going to make a bold statement. I think Black Ops 5 will have a campaign, and the reason why, because if they just release a Black Ops 5 with just multiplayer and more zombies, isn't that basically wouldn't people complain that, hey, they could have just updated the old one? At that point, I mean, at some point,
I said this could be the downfall. This right here,
they could have done that with Destiny. They didn't. The same reason you gave me. If I said that,
suckers keep paying for Destiny, then I mean that's a them problem.
But it works, and they're not going to do that crap.
But I mean, that's a big ripoff too, man. Like that's Activision again.
At the end of the day, what you're
man.
referring to is games as a service. It's working for Rainbow Six Siege, right? We don't knock on Rainbow Six Siege. It has seasons. People are happy. They keep bringing out content. Like if they just stuck to Black Ops 4, right, for 2 years or 3 years, if they kept putting out seasons that were free like Siege, which they aren't going to do, but if they did that, that'd be fine.
But
it's the way the model is.
There, Salty, is what you said. Updating the game for free down the line. That is the key to these type of all multiplayer games, and that's something they're not doing, man.
They don't need to do that though. They are Call of Duty. People buy their games every year.
Yeah, it's a dying business model. They do have to change it. And I'm not saying they can't be successful or what you're talking about. I think if you really kind of look forward, the real metric is mid-January for Call of Duty, because that's always been the steep drop off for the series.
Right.
Seasonally every year. So we're looking as launch till I would say till end of January. Let's look at that metric and let's see if people are continuously engaged. Because if that's the case, then adding free maps and having having microtransactions for certain things that have those people subsidize those free maps for people that don't want to pay, could hold some water, and it could go that direction. We'll see what happens in end of January, though.
I think what is going to sustain this game as opposed to the other Call of Duties, like you were talking about dropping off, is the Battle Royale. If you look at that map, there's certain areas of it that look like you can actually expand outward, like the way the map is situated. So they have to find a way, like Fortnite, to either evolve that base map that they have, or they're going to have to come out with a completely separate map, because gamers aren't going to be satisfied with that base.
I'm
map,
already not satisfied with that map, to be really honest.
Yeah, so they have to do something to evolve it.
They do have a lot of maps they can choose from to slap them together. Like at first when I landed in firing, or what is that, firing range? You're like, holy crap, it's the actual firing range. You know, those maps are from.
I like Asylum.
Yeah, like those maps are actually from the game. So I think that's cool. They could probably do more, but I think that they should be free for the Blackout mode.
Thank you.
No, I think. Yeah, they have to. I think overall, if they're going to keep that mode relevant, which they want to, I think it's going to be an ever-expanding thing. They'll either have to add to that map, like you were saying, bring some of the old popular maps, smash them in there to some of those parts of the map that look like they can have content, but they don't have it right now.
Right.
Yeah. Because if they don't do that, Fortnite's just going to steamroll them.
Yeah. I mean, don't you think that's one of the biggest complaints about PUBG? It's like, really, it's not very many maps that you got. So, I mean, that's an opportunity that Call of Duty could say, they have a huge library of stuff they can pull from. Kind of did what they did with Blackout and offer something new. And if they just go through their back catalog of what they've designed and developed in the past, they can easily get like 4 or 5 maps just out.
A winter map, all snow and everything. I mean, realistically, I like what Showstopper said earlier. I think Don's right. I do think the pay season pass thing is a dying thing. However, Call of Duty's been notorious for that. So it didn't take anybody by surprise that happened this year. I do like the idea. Well, if I'm a consumer. I prefer everything in the world was free, right? But realistically, right? But I mean, I like where Show was thinking. Imagine next year they say, hey, you've got Blackout, you got all these maps, blah, 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 this and that, all this $100 or $90 edition. You get everything right now. No, it's coming in January, then in July, and then in September. No. All up front, $100, 4 days earlier than launch, and everything included in the game. Let me tell you something. They can still get their money. They can still get their money from everybody and make everybody happy. They have it on day one. And let me tell you something. You don't believe it? Ask everybody who's saying right now. Everybody in the chat going, "Oh no! I'd never do that, Mooch." And all those people saying that are like, "Oh well, I did buy the Forza $100, but no, not me, Mooch, not me." Mooch.
Well, hold on, but
you're gonna buy the Forza one. You're gonna buy this one.
You're not locked out with your friends, though. You know what I mean? Like I think that's a little bit of a difference.
Friends talk. I gotta call Mooch first, man.
Listen, if your friends got it, you gonna find a way to get it.
If your friends got it, you will buy the
$100.
Hey, I don't know. Growing up, man, when I was playing Call of Duty, I was always the only sucker that had like a few maps here or there, like the Call of Duty maps. Like
I'm gonna sit here and say this. I'm gonna sit here and say this.
The delivery guys driving a Benz.
It's Christmas and it's birthdays. They'll get it.
That's right. They'll get it.
Hey, I want to talk about this new Taco Bell Xbox One X exclusive.
Oh, that's how you went in the show. Great.
No. Actually, I want to talk about something else after this. So I just want to hit on this real quick. It makes a bong sound when you start it up. I thought of Mooch right away.
That's almost as bad as the Gears screeching voice.
Like, what do you guys like? Here's the thing, though. I think this X looks amazing, though. I think it actually looks great.
Awesome, man. That does look good.
Does look good.
Does anybody
think about the resale value on that thing?
Exactly. Does anybody?
So I'm gonna go buy a $5 thing, try it out, and throw the food in the garbage.
No lie, that's what I did when they were doing that thing for the giveaway on the Xbox One X's because I can't do fast food, particularly.
I still got one of the boxes from the original giveaway sitting here.
It's tomorrow, right? Crap.
It's all clean and everything.
Yeah, I think it starts tomorrow, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so I'll buy that. Maybe if somebody's hanging around, just give it to them or whatever, or say, hey, I'd like. Give me the box, or I don't know. Well, apparently, what happens is some of the people that work there take the code. So sometimes I remembered I would get the code and I go to enter them or whatever, and it had already been used or whatever. Yeah, they'd already used it or whatever. But I think that console looked like, why isn't this a console that people can buy?
I got an answer for that, man.
Why?
Because we're coming to the end of this generation. They're not going to do any limited edition like Xbox One X's and everything like that. You're going to have to wait until new hardware comes out and then let that live for a while. And then eventually you're going to see limited editions. We have kind of like, this is a blank space when it comes to limited edition consoles being up on store shelves. And you look at it, I mean, we're predicting 2020 is when Scarlett is going to come out and everything. They're not going to, I don't see them doing anything limited edition between now and the launch of their new hardware, man.
You don't think so? I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like the X deserves something purdy. You know what I mean?
It does. I'm with you on that. But
yeah, they're putting out the Red Dead one though.
No, that was the Pope.
That's the Pope.
Yeah,
I was about to say, man, my goodness. Yeah, they got me on that one looked clean. That red one was solid.
Yeah,
it works so good.
Jeff Arroyo makes a good point. They may make another Gears one though, crap.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that would be cool, right? Like, why not do the Gears one? I think that one would be cool.
Somebody at Microsoft call Mooch so we can work out those fucking sound effects.
If they do a Gears one, it's just going to be solid red or something like that. They're not going to do anything crazy.
If they don't get started quick, I'm going to spray paint my own Xbox. So it can
be spray paint it red. That's Mooch's favorite color.
Yeah, nothing like a big bright red console in your middle of your living room.
Hey, you got a Spider-Man console. Swing to the left. Yes. Swing to the left.
It certainly is. To the left. It certainly is behind a lot of tinted glass. But go ahead.
Okay, so Red Dead 2 is coming out in a week, but
I'm pretty excited.
I am too.
Yeah.
I don't have the game. I'm looking to mooch it.
I got the code already. I got it mooch. Great mooch maniac.
I'm trying to mooch it. Where's the Crapaholics at, man? You guys are lagging behind. But so the former Rockstar employees, I guess, claiming 100+ hour work weeks with little to no breaks, basically saying it's a bad working environment. This has become kind of a big deal. A lot of people are talking about this. I'm not sure. Like, I'll ask the Don, because you're a dev. Like, what is your thoughts on this, Don? Like, it's usually when you hear about this stuff, it's ex-employees. You know, obviously, like, there could be some kind of thing there where it wasn't amicable, where this kind of stuff happens. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, this is not new in the industry. Anytime when a game's about to go gold, you're putting some hours in. I mean,
this is called a Tuesday.
Yeah, this is what you sign up for. I mean, there's a lot of people that want those positions. So if you're kind of complaining like that, then maybe you want to kind of reevaluate your situation, because there are people that are willing to do that sort of thing because they love of what it is. So. And that's, I'm independent. And I work 70+ hours a week myself. I do it to myself. I mean, that's just kind of normal. So, I mean, I kind of feel bad for them, but kind of not. Like, they're not on their own, and they're not the only ones to do it. I'm going to
talk about this a lot on Crossfire this week, because I'm going to make that a main subject. But Don, I just want to say, because it's the end of the show, I want to say thank you for what you just said. Thank you.
Well, and Don, I want to say something else as well. And I want to see if you agree with me. With this being Rockstar, let's be honest, it's not like every 2 years and there's a game. So as you're saying, as the game was getting closer to gold, of course, the hours are going to ramp up. But I don't believe they're doing like 100-hour work weeks for like 3 years, 4 years until the game drops.
No, it's usually the rush to just before. I mean, there's always a rush before certain deadlines of teams have and that sort of thing. And a lot of studios are flexible. Like, one of the studios I do contract work with, I literally can go in around 10 o'clock. During the day. I can do a lot of work from home, and obviously can't show anyone any of that sort of stuff, but I have to be at the office for a certain time, because that way they can have meetings and things like that. So a lot of these studios are really, really flexible to try to make it work for these dev teams, because they do have to work long hours and stuff like that. A lot of times it's also crunch time. They're bringing you food, they're doing all sorts of stuff in regards to that, and you're just trying to get it done. And some of these people are just contract, they're not even hourly.
You know what I said when I first heard it? I said, man, I would love to see that paycheck.
Yeah, they're not getting hourly.
That's a lot, man. That if they getting paid, they not getting paid hours, so they what, they salary?
Probably.
They're all salary and it's all contract.
Man, oh man, boy, 100 hours, boy. You know that overtime was killing. But if not, man, all right.
I mean,
and that is slave labor then, because
think about these guys, right? Like they're Rockstar. They get a bonus when those games hit. They sell. They get a bonus.
They're getting paid, They're getting paid.
They're getting paid in a different way. Like it's not like an hourly wage sort of thing. But if their game's critically acclaimed, they sell X number of copies. They get kickback of that residual of that success. And there's not a more guaranteed game than a Rockstar game that you're going to get that.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah,
let's just put it how it is. It's social media.
Kickbacks are serious, then. Oh, I got you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't mind one of their checks. Let's just put that.
And that's all I'm saying. I would love to see it.
Well, here's the thing. The guy that was one of the guys that's talking about this was the GTA 4 era. And following the backlash, Rockstar was reached out to clarify, and Rockstar made it clear by saying that the senior writing team had to work 3 weeks, not years. So they did 3 weeks of crunch time or whatever. And so it wasn't, I don't know, like things get, people look for stuff. I don't know what the deal is. Obviously Red Dead 2 is going to be a pretty big deal. To be honest with you, just like if you work any job, I mean, you're probably working 40 to 50 hours, if not more. You know what I mean?
Somebody who's working a 5-star restaurant in Manhattan, if they work 100 hours a week, they do it weekly. I mean, as a news anchor, when they're about to hit a deadline and it's a huge story they're trying to blow up, they're putting the hours in just like this, and it's voluntary. Because they also know they have to put out a good product, or their job's on the line. So that's what it is when it comes to a developer or a cook or an artist. They want to put out the best product. They are. I'm speaking for them. I shouldn't. I'm just going to say, just as somebody who's worked very hard in their lives, I want to put out the best product I possibly can. And if that means I have to put more time in, then so be it. Because I certainly would rather put more time in and get critically acclaimed than they get bashed and only work 35 hours a week.
Yeah, and I'm glad we're going to talk about it a little bit more tomorrow, Mooch, or Friday, excuse me, because it's, I found it to be a very interesting topic. You know what I mean? Because
it is a very interesting topic, but
everybody kind of has strong opinions on it. Like, like we all heard the whole crunch time thing. Like we've heard that with studios before. It's nothing really new, to be honest with you. So.
I mean, if it's a year of crunch time, then maybe you got something there, right? Or 6 months. So let's be a little more fair there. But like 6 months, then there's an issue. You need to push the date back. That's not fair to your
Agreed.
Yeah.
But just
a few weeks here and there, that's normal.
If you read Jason Schreier's book again, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, almost every single developing team that he went to, and they're all the big boys. Okay, Naughty Dog's in there, all of them 343. They all talk about that crunch. They all talk about it, and it's been going that way for ages. So just because it's something you just read about this week, you got to look a little bit further back than the past 7 days and see that this is just the way the industry is. And let's be honest. Let me speak to everybody in the audience for 2 seconds. Let's just say you had a homework assignment due. When you do it, the last minute, and you're up all night. It's called an all-nighter. You guys have all done it. So don't say that it's not something that happens before a deadline. We've all done it. And just like Don said, this game's going to make big-time money. They're going to get their incentives,
they're going to have
rewards.
Their name on it, too.
They're going to get their money, and it gets critically acclaimed. Believe me, they're very happy. And Don will tell you, developers would love to work for Rockstar.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably not wrong. I mean, there's probably some kind of incentive for a high Metacritic as well. They'll get a bonus.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and we'll talk about it more. But, I haven't got a gift from Mooch yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
No, I'm too busy.
Yeah, it's almost that time. Yep, so let's go ahead and do some outros. Woo! Mooch, what do you got going on, man?
Well, we got a stacked weekend, boys and girls, everybody out there, gamers alike. Listen, we've got M&C show tomorrow night. Crap, I believe it's on your channel, but I've lost the coin flip.
Yes, it's mine.
So we've got it on Crap's channel, and then we've got Crossfire 7 p.m. Eastern on the Mooch 78. And I told Crap, I don't know when it's going to come out, but I am working on my first video that I am producing, editing, and going to be starring in myself this weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, I got all my equipment ready to go. I'm going to launch this thing. So sometime next week, look for a Mooch video. Hope you guys like it. It's going to be on a very, very interesting subject. That's for damn sure.
Yes, it is. It's going to be. He's going to be making that on his ironically expensive ironic PC. So it's gonna be funny. We also got Salty. Man, Salty, you're gonna be busy tomorrow too, man. What do you got going on? You're gonna be watching your football team, or you're gonna be doing a podcast, man?
I don't know, man. A little bit of both, right? A little bit of this, a little
David
bit of that.
Johnson, baby, bring it home.
That's right. Me and Mooch were DMing on Sunday. I was like, man, he just scored a touchdown.
You saved my life, by the way, Salt. You made my life.
Right. That's right. So yeah, we got the Saltiest Gaming Podcast immediately following your guys' show. So Shady will be on there, and we have a nice little juicy announcement for So. Stay tuned for that. I'll be doing a video or two, and yeah, that's about
awesome.
it.
Good stuff. Xbot448, what do you got going on, my friend?
Well, of course, every Saturday on my channel is the next podcast. You come by 7 p.m. Eastern, hit up the chat, talk to the Don, talk to me, our newest panel member, which is Noximus, very opinionated gamer. And you guys know I'm excited when I bring new people into the family. There's a reason. And this guy, he's got personality, he's got opinions, he's not afraid to share his thoughts, and he is a great addition to the panel. So definitely check that out. Saturday, 7 p.m. on my channel, brother.
Nice stuff. We've got the Don. What do you got going on, my friend?
I might be doing Devin the Gamer. I don't know what's going on. I have to talk to Mega. That's just how we roll as far as that goes. And I think we got a big announcement also on Saturday for next as well. Yeah, some changes are going to happen there. So definitely the only way to figure out what I'm talking about is actually follow me on next podcast this Saturday. So
awesome stuff. And also there's going to be Mud Trucks. So I think everybody's going to be super
It's going to be Mud Trucks remix.
Crap had to throw that in there too. You got to get the mud.
I might have to put a poll up between the Battletoads, Mud Trucks.
I miss the Battletoad, man. I do. I really do.
Yeah, I'll put a poll up. Let's see what the people want.
Why not do both, man?
I'm looking forward to it, man. I love the Mud Truck show. Hey, I love it. And also we got Showstopper who stayed for the whole show, man. I appreciate it. What do you got going on, Show?
I do some live streams, and like live podcasts on my channel and everything like that. So if you ain't subscribed to me, come rock out with me. It's Showstopper 2123. I go possibly like 3 times out the week, and it's in the morning, so that's the time I have available to do it. So you can catch it later if that's too early for you at 10 o'clock to about 11. But yeah, I'm just rocking out doing that. You never know what you're going to see in my podcast.
That
you
is
come
true.
over there, you never know what you're going to see. And I'm just dead serious. You liable to see anything. And it just goes that way. But come and rock out with me, man. You have a good time.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you guys all for being here. And looks like Foxy will be back next week. Thank you guys. Have a great one, man. Have some fun. We're going to get into some Call of Duty. Rack them up. Peace out later.
Yes,